Losing time, I'm fading fast. I just wanna make it last. Try to let go of the past. I close my eyes, embrace the blast. Sleepless nights and headache stack. Restlessness to hell and back. What's my purpose? What do I grab? A slippery surface, a heart attack. And sometimes you just gotta believe there's something that'll give you relief. There's something that'll have what you need. What you need. We're broken, it's tragic. We're not all elastic, but maybe there's magic. Believe you could have it. And I know of sadness, the anxious and panic, the infinite vastness of all that is blackness.
Hey guys, no camera today and it's peeing down with rain. How you going? Kai, how you going? John Paul, how you going? Carl, how you going? You're approaching Penang. Good stuff. I don't know where that is, but anyway. John Paul said won't make the live, catch up in the morning. Mum sends everyone a big Christmas hug. Alex is here. How you going, Alex? Who else have we got in here? Shannon, how you going from the Riverlands, South Australia? Okay, so let's get into some more news. Okay, just let me adjust things here. Okay, Wild Content said the ratio at this club is crazy. You know what this looks like to me? A meat market. Oh dear. My goodness. Yeah, that's a lot of women looking for men by the look of it. Okay, Dr. Jebra Fauché said it's not that the question is impossible to answer, it's that he is so triggering and the very act of asking the question is trauma-inducing. Of course, she walked out, wouldn't you? This is from the Whatever podcast, and honestly, Brian here, which is the guy, he asks her what a misogynist is because she accuses them of being misogynistic. Now watch the reaction.
Okay, you guys are all just like really misogynistic.
How do you define misogyny? What? How do you, I'm just asking how you define misogyny.
Can I go?
Are you okay? Like, do you want to go as in leave? If you, yeah, no, look, if you want to leave, you can leave. I was hoping we could continue having a conversation, but, I mean...
So apparently that's how young people handle things when you ask them a question. Or some young people, not all. But yeah, she just got triggered over him asking what is misogyny. She couldn't answer it, she cried instead. Shadow of Ezra said Alec Baldwin's Instagram post about a baby from January 18th, 2019 said, Before we eat them, we baste them and humour them. What do you think he meant by that? I know what he meant, but what do you think he meant by that? Before we eat them, we baste them and humour them. Okay, Dr. Keck said, what did he just say? Let's have a listen. Oh, I can get my mouse working.
The president is leading nationally on a morning consult poll. He's leading with 7 swing states. Arizona, Georgia, Michigan, Nevada, North Carolina, Pennsylvania, and Wisconsin. So that is actually the poll against President Biden, the fake president. You can see that President Trump is leading against Mr. Biden in all of those areas. The president is leading.
First of all, he said the president is leading, and he was speaking about Trump. And then he said the fake president, Biden. Oh dear, this is getting quite funny actually. Laura Loomer said must watch. Senator Carden confronted about gay staffer who filmed sex tape. Loomer Unleashed correspondent Charles Downs confronted Democrat Senator Ben Carden today on Capitol Hill. We asked him why the room that his staffer used to film the gay tape was registered under his name as a senator. He said, I don't know about that, I'll have to check that out. When we also asked him if he knew his starter was registered with FARA, Senator Carden looked shocked and perplexed and wasn't aware that the gay staffer was registered with FARA for his work with Dominican Republic, which I exclusively reported days ago.
Senator, how's it going? Pretty good. Laura Loomer reported that the staffer who you fired for that sex tape here on the Hill reserved that office where you filmed the sex tape under your name. Do you have a comment to that? I don't know about that. I have to check it. And then are you aware that he was registered with FARA as well? That same staffer? FARA, he was registered as a foreign agent. Yeah, the staffer who had sex in that office was a registered foreign agent for FARA records. Well, thank you, Senator. Senator.
So he didn't even know. You think these people would check that out before employing people? Peter Curry said, my neighbour came home today and found this on their balcony 3 floors up in Coogee, which is in Sydney. And it's a snake having a meal of a mouse or a rat, I'm not sure. But yeah, makes my spider problem look very small. Oh dear. My goodness. That's Australia for you. Now, take this with a grain of salt. I don't know, okay? But natural immunity, F the world, I believe. That's what FTW means. This is the craziest study. Male pattern baldness cured with simple lard, pig fat rubbed on his head every night. And this person here, Cave Paleo, said still thinking about this Indian study where they applied lard, pig oil, daily onto the scalp and completely reversed hair loss, androgenic alopecia. There you go. I don't know, but our supermarket sells pig fat, so not that I'm going bald, but anyone who's going bald, I don't know. Is it worth a try? I don't know. I like bald guys, I don't care. But hey, you know, that's just me. But yeah, it's just I thought anyone who's interested might find that interesting. And I don't know, try it and let me know. If anyone does try it, please let me know. Inversionism said, I finally watched Leave the World Behind last night, and I watched Jay Dreamer's version of going into what it meant, okay? So, and he was pretty good. So, Jay Dreamers, Alex can probably put him a link to his channel in the comments. While everyone is focused on the obvious predictive programming portrayed about a cyber pandemic and sonic energy weapons bringing us to systemic collapse, there's another point that I think some people missed in regards to the daughter Rose being addicted to entertainment. I noticed that. And the fake reality being created through movies and TV shows, and how much it's captured the mind of the youth into derealization, escapism, and completely contorted perceptions of what's important, with these weird emotional attachments to celebrities and the characters they play as if they're real. Within the first few minutes of the movie after the title scene, it shows her riding in the car watching Friends on her iPad before the internet goes out. And she asks her dad when they get back to the city to take her to see the coffee shop in Friends. And he responds to her, "I don't think that's real, honey, it's just a set." This is setting the tone for her for the remainder of the movie. The next scene, she's walking up to her mum to complain about the internet still being out and how she has incredible anxiety about how they're going to wrap up the show, Friends, you know. Again depicting the youth as being consumed by entertainment and TV to the point of making them mentally ill and anxious about fictional TV characters and how a show ends. Later towards the end of the movie, she again wakes her brother to ask if she's ever going to know how Ross and Rachel end up. And her brother asks why she cares so much about Friends. She says it's because they make her happy, and if there's any hope in this effed up world, we'll at least find out how things turn out for them. I care about them. That's what she said. The film ends with the GH, one of the main actors, giving a speech about a 3-step plan he heard from his defence contractor client on how to topple a nation by making it so dysfunctional that it cannibalises itself, before cutting to the end scene with Rose breaking into a wealthy home, inundating herself with toxic junk food and soda, roaming around the house until she enters the bunker, and then finding a TV and a wall of DVDs with her favourite show, Friends. The final scene is her playing episode called The Last One and smiling mindlessly at the TV at the same time bombs are being dropped on cities nearby and sonic space-based weapons deployed on the populace. Considering this movie was written by the same person behind the show Mr. Robot, Sam Esmail, which was full of the same depictions of the typical brainwashed consumerist American fixated on celebrity worship, mindless entertainment, and political theatre with elites at the top pulling the strings and manufacturing world events and controlling narratives, I think this movie is trying to convey a similar message, beyond just the predictive programming about collapse which already started years ago with the youth as far back as the 60s and the free love movement. Many people have become so exhausted, demoralised and disillusioned with the world and all its insanities that they'd rather just disconnect from all of it and get lost in entertainment and live through other people's lives vicariously. This has become especially prevalent in the youth with their cell phone addictions and subsequent monstrous drops in intelligence and performance in school. Their minds and souls have been completely captured, monetised and farmed for profit in this attention economy by criminal corporations that know exactly what they're doing and how it's destroying society. The former Facebook executive, Char Marth, said this years ago in that viral video about how social media was ripping apart society and that they created a monster, but this monster was created years ago with the advent of television and Hollywood, which we all know has been an arm of the CIA with its express purpose of destabilisation, demoralisation, degeneration, and the eventual collapse so that they can rebirth their NWO from the ashes like a phoenix. We all know our disinformation program is complete when everything the American public believes is false. Former CIA Director William Casey. If you want to truly destroy and destabilise a nation, you go after the youth and pollute their minds with propaganda that glorifies vapid materialism, sexual degeneracy, wokeism, LGBTQ, and every other means of corrupting morals and degenerating their minds into slush that are easily controlled and subjugated once adults. So if you're a parent reading this and you want to save your kid and the future of humanity from this monster of inverted degeneration, you need to start policing what they do with their devices and what content they're consuming, because it is having a profound and immeasurable impact on them and the future of America and the rest of the world. The end scene with one of the main characters. Because my primary client works in the defence, I spent a lot of time looking at the cost-benefit analysis of military campaigns. There was one program in particular that terrified my client the most. A simple 3-stage manoeuvre that could topple a country's government from within. First stage is isolation. Disable their communication and transportation. Make the target as deaf, dumb and paralysed as possible, setting them up for the second stage. Synchronised chaos. Terrorise them with covert attacks and misinformation, overwhelming their defence capabilities, leaving their weapons systems vulnerable to extremists in their own military. Without a clear enemy or motive, people would start turning on each other. If done successfully, the third stage would happen on its own. So what's the third stage? A coup d'etat? A civil war? Collapse? This program was considered the most cost-effective way to destabilise a country because if the target nation was dysfunctional enough, it would in essence do the work for you. Whoever started this wants us to finish it. This program was considered the most cost-effective way to destabilise a country because if the target nation was... Yeah, we've heard that. Let's listen to Mr. Obama.
Understand, it's not necessary for people to believe this information in order to weaken democratic institutions. You just have to flood a country's public square with enough raw sewage. You just have to raise enough questions, spread enough dirt, plant enough conspiracy theorizing that citizens no longer know what to believe. Once they lose trust in their leaders, in mainstream media, in political institutions, in each other, in the possibility of truth, the game's won. Understand.
So there you go. Don't let them divide anymore. We all have a common enemy, and it's the people who are in charge. I still have my belief. I believe in Trump. And I believe in the question board. So there you go. Joe Rambo said it's not a slip when you do it 2 times. Fake president, fake administration, fake president. Call it what you want, but I'm calling it confirmation that I'm not alone in my thought process. Joe Biden is a psyop. Trump told us it's not him. He's shot. He doesn't know he's alive. He told us he wears the biggest mask he's ever seen. He told us how. He'd punch him right in the nose and there would be plastic all over the place. You can justify all this away if you want to, but I'm not doing it. The Joe Biden administration is more than illegitimate. It's fake, war, the pause. Multiple movies playing at once. Nothing can stop what's coming. And it's the same guy who said the president is leading in the swing states, which is Trump. Hunter Valley Coal Train said Australian taxpayers are being forced to fund this incompetent organisation who censor and edit weather records. The Bureau of Meteorology in Australia will guide the spending of $16 trillion on renewables. Can't predict a major rain event, which we have right now, a week in advance, that can't forecast, but can accurately tell us the weather for 80 years into the future. And apparently, how did no one know this was going to happen? Rain defies bomb forecast. Soldiers and army helicopters have been rushed to the far north Queensland flood zone as trapped residents wait on rooftops for rescue amid growing anger over the Bureau of Meteorology's inaccuracy. I was waiting for this, but when the Bureau of Meteorology really gets things wrong and people can see it for themselves, because they're useless. And because of the Bureau of Meteorology, what they're going to try and do is probably put solar panels here. Oh my God. They're going to try and put solar panels here and watch what happens. It's not funny actually because it's poison in those things. And if that does happen to them, where's the poison going? Out to sea? I don't know. It's being washed somewhere. Okay, Chuck Costello said, breaking report, Biden busted trying to sneak Hunter into DC on Marine One transport. Peter Ducey noticed someone hop off the chopper who was not on the passenger list. Hunter Biden is here at the White House after defying the congressional subpoena. Yeah, because he's under subpoena.
We were all just watching the first family's return from Delaware on Marine One, and my colleague Peter Ducey noticed someone hop off the chopper who was not on the passenger list the White House gave us. Hunter Biden. So Hunter is apparently here at the White House after defying a congressional subpoena while being indicted and facing a maximum of 17 years behind bars on the financial crimes, plus another 25 on the gun charges that he is facing, John. We were all just watching.
Haha, he's on the run now, is he? In the White House. Oh my God, this couldn't get any stupider, seriously, any dumber. Dom Lecrae, breaker of narratives, said, breaking news, Celine Dion has lost control of her muscles due to her battle with a neurological disorder known as stiff person syndrome. You're lacking some chrome there, love. Some of the Drinos. I think so. Madonna's gone down too, apparently. She's not doing well. Malcolm Roberts said that... hang on. I think there was something in here. Was there anything in here? Supercalifascious risky experimental doses. Oh. Yeah, that's what I was thinking it was. This stuff here. Lack of it. Oh, you never know. No, I think it's this. I mean, you can think it's the jabs if you want. It's up to you. Everyone's got their own opinion, and who am I to tell anyone what to think? Malcolm Roberts said the number of news visa holders flooding into Australia, 5.8 million tourist visas issued in the last 12 months, and 1.1 million work, student and permanent visas is staggering. Instead of answering the question, the minister representing the Minister for Home Affairs used up his allotted response time pretending he didn't really understand my question. He worked hard to reassign blame for the current situation, ignoring that it's happening under his government's watch. He promoted Labor's housing fund, which One Nation opposed. The scheme is a con that will build a few thousand homes in total. Sorry, I've got a cat in front of me. And allows the government to pretend the housing needs of the millions of people they are letting in can be met. Labor is flooding the country with millions of new arrivals and pretends housing is taken care of. It is not. The only way to fix the housing crisis is to turn the visa tap off until the housing stock catches up. And I fully agree with that. We don't have the infrastructure, okay? So we need to stop immigration, and I believe stop it altogether for a little while. One sec, guys. I might have to let this little kitty cat out. Come on. Will they go out? Come on. Come on. You don't want to go out. You want to sit in front of my microphone? Come on. Good girl. Come on, pumpkin. There we go. It's okay. Look. There you go. Quick. Oh no, she doesn't know what she wants to do. Do you want to go out? Yep. Okay. There you go. Now she'll be scratching at the door in 1 minute to get back in. Okay, let's continue. Okay, we've already seen this. Oh no, we didn't. We saw him confronted. Loomer Unleashed just confronted Senator Carden video, which we've seen. Senator Carden has his Senate door locked to keep people out following the expose about his staffer, Aidan Masek, who was caught making a tape in the Senate hearing committee room. How can a US Senator lock his door? Well, apparently he has. Doors are locked. Please contact the staffer you're meeting with to notify them of your arrival for an appointment. If you're making a delivery, please contact the office. Very interesting. And he's a foreign agent, a registered foreign agent, that guy who did the tape in the White House. Interesting. Brian Cates said, looking back now, I hope everyone's coming to fully understand just how much of a disaster this was for all of their plans. Obama was supposed to make the handoff to Hillary Clinton. It was Hillary who was supposed to finish the full construction and implementation of the censorship state. They slowly but surely lured hundreds of millions of Americans onto their military intelligence complex, MIC-controlled spy tools, cleverly disguised as social media apps, using our own smartphones to catalogue us, track us, surveil us and spy on us, and in the end, the goal was to exercise total control over our speech. Everything was prepared. From 2008 onwards, they lovingly and painstakingly, at great expense, constructed the apparatus for their long-cherished dream, the censorship state. I'm sure they'd lay awake at night, whacking off to the fantasy of total control they would have, at last, in their grasp. The power to completely dominate and determine what the American public could see, hear, and most importantly of all, say. Say to each other and say to their elite rulers. Like a frog boiled in water that never moved because the temperature was only very incrementally raised, they slowly and carefully were moving the American people into a digital internet culture that was incrementally morphing into a dystopic informational wasteland right out of Orwell's 1984. And then that arsehole Donald Trump just had to go and ruin it all for them. Gee, thanks, Donald. Yeah, thank you, Mr. Trump. You forced them to go early, and to not only go early, but also far too fast. You forced them to make it obvious what they were doing, trying to control exactly what Americans were allowed to know and say on Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, Google Apps, Facebook, etc. You forced them to frantically leap out of the tall grass and out into the open. You really made it hard on them. Do you realise how much harder a time of it Biden and the censorship state is having because of this stupid Great Awakening thing that's going on? They're being sarcastic, by the way. How unfair is it that the Missouri versus Biden case in the House Weaponization Committee is pulling the curtain back and showing people the inner workings of the censorship state? None of this was ever supposed to be happening. I'm sure many of the would-be totalitarians in our unelected and illegal shadow government still cannot quite believe this is really happening, that they've been outed like this, that they've been manoeuvred into weaker and weaker positions, where they've been forced to expose themselves and frantically try and pull the curtain back over their speech control apparatus. They can't have him come back. They just can't. The censorship state, which was supposed to guarantee their hold on perpetual power in this country, is in danger of full exposure and dismantling. This cannot happen. This must not happen. Understand now their full and furious determination to utterly and completely destroy Donald Trump. It's not just a vindictive type of revenge. He terrifies them in a way no one else ever has, and maybe never will. Hillary Clinton was positioned to finish his country off, and then a miracle happened. Look at his face. He's not happy. Oh, Obama. Okay, and the post-millennial Tucker calls out DeSantis' campaign. The people who represent him online are the nastiest, the stupidest, the most zero-sum people I've ever seen in my life. Let's have a listen. Hopefully the volume's a bit better this time. It's insane.
Can I just ask a question, since you all are so on the internet and like I'm not that much? You really get the sense that Ron DeSantis, who I liked as governor, the people who represent him online are the nastiest, the stupidest, and the most zero-sum people I've ever seen in my life. And I don't think that reflects him, but it's like, this is kind of small ball. And by the way, these purported conservatives, Ron DeSantis changed his view, and I like him, okay? I think he's been a good governor. I just want to be clear about that. I know him personally, I like him. But his donor, Ken Griffin, told him to change his view on Ukraine from it's a regional conflict we shouldn't get involved in to it's a super important thing, we should send more money. One donor got him to change his view, and all these so-called conservatives are supporting that like it's the most important thing ever. Like, who are these people, and what is their problem? Like, what is going on with them?
It does reflect on Ron, because Ron should have fired the people running his campaign a long time ago. Look, I respect that he wanted to launch his campaign on X, on Twitter Spaces at the time, and it failed miserably. This is a mistake. And now you've got, look, I know a lot of people groan, but a lot of people laugh. The high heels, boots scandal. I mean, who's giving this guy advice, and why does he keep taking it? Because I will say it politically and policy-wise, we love Ron DeSantis. Yeah. He's done an amazing job.
I agree.
But his campaign is a train wreck.
Yeah.
There you go.
Can I just ask a question, since you...
They may have... That may be done on purpose. Gary D said Tucker Carlson, the Republican Congress, just allowed the Biden administration to spy on the Republican voters. It makes you wonder, who's on your side? Oh.
I was like 10 years behind on that.
Speaking my language.
But now that I see it, I'm like, I can't even believe this exists. Because, by the way, in some ways it's more offensive than the Democratic Party because it's lying. The Democratic Party is just like, we're here to hurt you and belittle you, of course. But the Republican Party pretends to be on your side. They're like Quislings, but they're literally the Republican Congress just allowed the Biden administration to spy on Republican voters. So, like, is there a bigger sign of the fact that they hate you every bit as much as the Democrats?
What I love about
the true corrupt...
Interesting. That was Tim Pool's stream yesterday, I believe, Yesterday or the day before, I'm not sure. But yeah, it was very interesting, and Tucker Carlson was on there, as well as Luke Radowski from We Are Change, and Tim Pool, and all them. Don Lecrae, breaker of narratives, says, since 8% of Jeffrey Epstein's client list is going public, I'm going to ask again, why the hell was Stephen Hawking on Jeffrey Epstein's island? Yeah, why was he there? Interesting, isn't it? Liz Crokin said, boom, judge ruled names of over 170 Jeffrey Epstein associates to be unsealed in the first days of 2024. Judge Loretta Preska ordered Monday that Jeffrey Epstein's vast network of powerful friends are set to be exposed as part of a vast unsealing via court records that will take place in 14 days. Pesca wrote unsealed in full next to names of 177 does who are Epstein's friends, recruiters, underage victims and others whose names will be revealed when the material is released, scheduled for the first few days of 2024, according to the Daily Mail. The court records are part of a defamation case brought by Prince Andrew's accuser Virginia Roberts in New York against Epstein's madam, Ghislaine Maxwell. Roberts sued Maxwell for defamation in 2016, and while the case was settled, the Miami Herald, which published a bombshell expose of Epstein that led to his arrest in 2019, sued to get the documents made public. There will also be material about Haley Robson, who was named as a recruiter in police files of Epstein's original investigation in 2006 in Palm Beach, although she has more recently claimed she was a victim too. The filing suggests some documents will relate to Jean-Luc Brunel, a French model scout who was close to Epstein, allegedly abused many young women. Brunel hanged himself in Paris prison cell in 2022 while awaiting trial on a slew of sex charges. The material is likely to include depositions, emails, legal documents and other material not previously made public. The name that's most troubling for Prince Andrew is the inclusion of Joanna Sjoberg, I don't know how to say that, one of Epstein's underage girls in the list of does. Judge Preska effectively names Sjoberg as Jane Doe 162 by citing a Daily Mail article from her in 2021. To date, only small excerpts of her depositions have been made public and they've been damning for the Duke. Happy New Year, elite pedos. 2024 is gonna be lit. Okay, I can't wait. Finally. Good on this judge. We need more like them. Technofog said, yep, the federal judge is unsealing of 167. There's a lot of confusion and bad info from the media surrounding this issue. Here's some next necessary context on the John Does. The court says it's ordered for 14 days to permit any impacted Doe the opportunity to appeal, after which counsel are asked to confer, prepare the documents for unsealing pursuant to this order, and post the documents on the docket. We've previously charted and characterised each John Doe and previously summarised this material back in February 2023. The majority of around 100 of 167 have been identified. Approximately 11 of the unidentified John Does are victims. Here are examples. Secondly is individuals' association with Epstein has been reported in the media already. Avenatti, this individual is a public figure. None of the materials that relate to him are salacious. This material should be unsealed in full. This individual's role in Epstein's trafficking has been widely reported in the media. The Second Circuit unsealed allegations about this individual in this case, and he or she was subject to widely publicised criminal prosecution abroad for trafficking. This individual's allegations against Epstein and others have been previously reported on by the press, and this individual's given multiple interviews to the media. Second, this individual's allegations against Epstein's and others have been previously reported by the press, blah, 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 given multiple interviews to the media. So a few of the J Does. Furthermore, lawyers for Maxwell and Giuffre, the victim, informed the court that quite a few of the John Does were only mentioned in passing or in a benign context, or that the sealed material as to this individual is not salacious. Example. Second, the sealed material as to this individual is not salacious, only references to this individual are in passing or benign context. And again, but there are two alleged perpetrators who haven't been ID'd, John Does 58 and 94. John Doe 58 was previously ID'd as a witness and perpetrator. We noticed in February 23 that he allegedly had relations with a victim at Epstein's New York mansion. The new order says his ID will remain sealed. Oh, great. Why? Only 58's name and any identifying information shall remain sealed. Doe 58 is neither a victim nor associated. Okay. John Doe 94 is an alleged victim, perpetrator and Maxwell Epstein affiliate, said to have committed serious wrongdoing. The list of victims and perpetrators is small, might be Sarah Kellen or someone still unidentified. John Doe 94 will be unsealed. Finally, there are a handful of other John Does listed as witnesses or Epstein Maxwell affiliates. John Doe 113, for example, who engaged in serious wrongdoing. Their identities will also be unsealed. As we said, we reported much of this back in February 2022, 23, link in bio. Okay, so this should be interesting. Might be a happy new year after all. Hopefully. The Senate staffer was caught filming porno in a Senate room. He also posted an obscene photo referencing Lindsey Graham. I think these allegations are serious enough for Lindsey Graham to issue a response as to what his affiliation, if any, is with that staffer. Simon Atiba said just in, Republican Senator Lindsey Graham claims he's not seen any evidence that President Biden is corrupt and should be impeached. No smoking gun, he said. And you can watch it, but yeah. What's he got to do with this other guy who was having some rear-end action at the White House? Leading reports said breaking constitutional law professor Jonathan Turley says Joe Biden's connection to his son Hunter Biden's corruption is impeachable given the enormous amounts of evidence. Well, what are the rhinos doing? Not much. Okay, Ariel said, what does this potentially... On just a logistical level, mission readiness, the USSF has reached a point where it can fully execute its assigned missions, which includes space domain awareness, space control, and space communications. This means it has the personnel, equipment, and capabilities necessary to defend US space assets, support other military operations, and contribute to overall national security. Improved capabilities. The declaration reflects advancements in the USSF capabilities across various areas, including satellite communications, launch and tracking systems, and space-based sensors. This allows for more effective monitoring of space activities, faster response to threats, and enhanced support for terrestrial operations. Shifting focus. Reaching full operational capacity represents a transition from the USSF's initial development phase to a more operational focus. This means greater emphasis on executing missions, integrating with other military branches, and deterring potential adversaries in space. Now, what could this mean for the EBS system? Radio, television, internet, phone. Are these outlets of communication under full control of the Space Force? What does this mean for a potential blackout? What does this mean for election integrity? Will this new capability of the Space Force be used to facilitate information on various fields of interest concerning military operation regarding the JAG? We will find out in due course, which could mean that those who are on the fence about the 2020 election or those opposed to the truth concerning the fraud that resulted in a corrupt outcome will be confronted with irrefutable evidence in a myriad of ways if what we've been told comes to light, through many events that have been recorded and ready to be displayed for the general public to see. DEFCON warning systems. The US Space Command says it has reached full operational capability. There you go, Space Force. Rob Smith said, what is her role? Is she an employee? Are we paying her a wage? I demand to know what Jodie Hayden's role is within the government. Now, this is the lady who is seen with our Prime Minister, Anthony Albanese, rent-a-girlfriend. New Idea said, why Anthony Albanese doesn't live with his partner, Jodie? Because they're not partners, I believe. Rent-a-wife. Brian Cates, political columnist and pundit, said no joke because this actor got a central role for the cameras on J6 and then was treated with kid gloves and given a guided tour by the cops and spent a few months in jail. A few months in a halfway house, while people who didn't even go to the Capitol building have gotten 3 to 6 years in prison. Some people think it's really important he be handed some kind of key role or leadership position in the MAGA J6 movement. This guy is not MAGA, he's an actor. He is a climate change activist, which we caught him at a climate change protest. Do not get confused. Jacob Chansley. And he said, so Matt Gaetz doesn't care at all about J6s. Watches he ignores me twice when asked for a pic. Well, you're an actor, mate. Seriously. That's why. Yeah, he got treated like with kid gloves compared to the rest of the J6s. Seriously. I do not think he's a hero. I think he's an actor. And he has been caught at climate change protests. So there you go. Laura Loomer said, I never get tired of being blocked by useless whores who have no talent aside from letting men dump inside them. I'd hate to be a pillow tonight after she just got Loomer and publicly exposed for being an OnlyFans whore who sleeps with the director of operations of the congressman she exposed, Mr. Santos NY. Dolce, if your uncontrollable tears and makeup ruin your pillow tonight, you can use promo code Loomer at MyPillow to get another one. Don't say I never did anything nice for you. Jacqueline Sweet, okay? Speaking of scoops, Jacqueline's J Sweet LI, I see in your bio you like to take credit for your stories exposing George Santos. So apparently Laura Loomer has exposed her as being an OnlyFans model, having an affair with the director of operations of the congressman. Dr. Mark Hobart said Australian Health Practitioner Regulation Agency, Vaccination and Immunisation Information. This is the new statement. Now, get ready for a surprise from AFRA, Australia's... I don't even know what it bloody well is. Anyway, they have now told doctors to use their own discernments in handing out vaccines. And it's their choice. Where is it? It's not a requirement for registration with your profession's national board. However, employers, public health agencies and education providers may establish mandatory vaccination requirements that apply to registered health practitioners and students. Not complying with relevant public health and or employment requirements may have consequences on your entitlement to practice and your employment. Good practices includes that you're immunised, but what they do say is you don't have to. Somewhere down here it says you don't have to. What if I object to your moral concerns? You're expected to ensure your objection does not deny patients access to healthcare and that patients are referred to other health practitioners if you don't want to give them one. Practitioners should respectfully inform their patients where relevant to their care, employers and other relevant of their objection and ensure patients have alternative care options like a referral. You should inform your patients. Can I administer? Only registered health practitioners who are trained, educated and competent in all aspects of vaccine management and administration who are authorised under the relevant state and territory drugs and poisons legislation can administer them. Can I provide information? Registered health practitioners are entrusted to use their expertise and influence to protect and advance the health and well-being of individuals, families and communities. That's not what they were saying before. If providing information about vaccine or immunisation, you're expected to use the best available evidence and participate in efforts to promote the health of communities. In other words, don't give it to them. The expectation applies regardless of the context in which you provide the information, e.g. in a clinical practice, academic settings, public or private forums, social media, including both private and professional accounts. And the Therapeutic Goods Administration has guidance on how to advertising medicines to the public, including through social media. But anyway, they've changed they have actually said in there that they don't have to be anymore. So I found that interesting. Fletch17 said, watch the USSS. Not only do they look unprofessional, there are hardly any of them around. Brandon is walking by himself and they hesitate way too long. Dots. MSM, why are you losing in the polls? Biden, you're reading the polls wrong. Crash, let's go Brandon. FJB. So he's there by himself. They normally open his doors and that for him, don't they? The Secret Service and stuff. Oh, now they're going to get him out of there. Oh, now they're going to do it. Okay, quick, someone's watching. Quick. Black Betty said the claim Hillary Clinton dies at 65. How does People magazine accidentally post this? Don't they have editors? I was searching my HD for stuff. Little thread, just weird, right? Hillary Rodham Clinton dies at 65 from People magazine. Hillary Clinton, whose titles include author, lawyer, mother, first lady, US senator, presidential candidate and secretary of state, died. TK, she was 65. Further details. At the end of 2012, Clinton suffered a blood clot in an area between her brain and skull right behind the ear and was treated at New York Presbyterian Columbia Hospital in Manhattan before being released to her home in Chappaqua? Remember the time they accidentally reported that HRC had died? Hillary Clinton death announced in New York City WABC Channel 7 News 9/11/16 with Joe Torres. How does one accidentally report the death of a live person? We begin with the breaking news about Hillary Clinton's death, the anchor says. Let's have a listen.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Sandra Booker. And I'm Joe Torres. We begin with the breaking news about Hillary Clinton's death. Hillary Clinton's doctor has just revealed the presidential candidate has been diagnosed with pneumonia.
Now this after Clinton left the 9/11 memorial ceremony early and was captured on video appearing to need assistance and to struggle to stay on her feet as she was getting into the... Good evening, everyone. I'm Sandra Booker.
And I'm Joe Torres. We begin with the breaking news.
Sorry, didn't mean to let that play twice. Interesting. Isn't it? Just gets more and more interesting. Dr. David Cartland said, just been sent this, not necessarily endorsing. There is no COOF, and hence there is no COOF pandemic. It's all a huge fraud. All thanks to wonderful German engineer Marvin Haberland and a great American researcher Christine Massey and incredible German biologist Dr. Stefan Lanka and many others. Christine has proved through hundreds of FOI requests and responses that the COOF virus never been isolated anywhere in the world. See links and hundreds of FOIAs on Christine's website and another link. When Greg Hunt, the then Australian Federal Health Minister, was questioned in Australian Parliament by Solihin Millen, he responded with a pathetic letter, stating he was unable to prove the explicit existence of the COOF, other than through citing the results of a single pseudo-scientific experiment carried out by the Doherty Institute associated with the University of Melbourne in Australia. For the results of a scientific experiment to be validated, a second precisely similar experiment must be carried out without introducing the supposed causative agent. In the case of the Doherty Institute, a human sample is supposed to be infected with the COOF. Marvin Haberland was astute enough to question this Doherty Institute pseudo-experiment, and the Doherty Institute, under FOIA, Freedom of Information, confirmed that the Doherty Institute never carried out a controlled experiment, thereby scientifically invalidating their findings. EIR. Further, a great German biologist, Dr. Stefan Lanka, showed through running the missing Doherty Institute control experiment that results using a placebo inert substance resulted in exactly the same experimental outcome. Marvin Haberland was fined by the German COOF authorities and refused to pay the fine, so he was taken to court. His complaint is translated in English here. Marvin Haberland has won the case in Germany, heard on the 26th of April 2023. This is now hard scientific and legal evidence for MAHA to raise in our up-and-coming Australian federal court class action that this COOF doesn't exist. Hence, the COOF doesn't exist since it's meant to be caused by the non-existent other one that doesn't exist. And hence, it's a total fraud. In addition, there's a great deal of proof that the PCR test and associated false positives that was used to create the COOF cases is completely false and cannot be used to test for a disease. A Portuguese court confirmed this, see that link there, as did a request for retraction of the original Drosten paper recommending the PCR test to test for this imaginary disease, and hence the other imaginary disease. Further, huge amounts of evidence are available to MAHA confirming that the COOF pandemic has been falsely constructed to enable the distribution of otherwise illegal dual-purpose gain-of-function poisonous biowarfare, mRNA-based and nanotechnology gene-altering injections and other lethal and harmful nanosubstances by the United States of America Department of Defense. What has been called this thing is a chimeric made by humans in silico, only exists in computers created by human imagination, biological poison developed for biowarfare. We've won. In addition, we have hard evidence the Australian TGA has hidden death statistics in order to support the false Australian government narrative to get the jab. With these simple facts, which will be presented via the MAHA class action to the Australian Federal Court, we have proved the falsity of the entire thing. The entire thing. The PCR tests couldn't tell the maker of the PCR tests said they were not made for that reason, and then he died. Okay, PCR tests couldn't tell the difference between influenza A, B, or the COOF. You're about to be compensated for this hugely destructive, shocking, lethal, and injurious fraud that the Australian governments have inflicted on all of us, and this will happen worldwide eventually. I believe everyone who took it are going to have to be compensated. Sorry, I'm forgetting the stupidest words, honestly. I know these words. Liz Churchill said Ukraine's First Lady has been accused of trafficking children in a really bad way. I have the document that I'll send you via email. I was with this child. His name is Dimitro. I brought him to the host family, which lives on Avenue Foch, and the man who came out, he was quite old and he came out half naked. Hillary Clinton was on hand when the Olena Zelensky Foundation launched her children foundations. Yeah, look, be wary of anyone who has a foundation, okay? Because they normally start it for money laundering purposes. Laura Loomer said, wow, Senator Carden is lying. He said he didn't know how his staffer got inside the Senate hearing room when he filmed this tape. That's a lie. As she exclusively reported days ago, the room was reserved under Senator Carden's name. It's all going to come out. Bastard in the custard on a Sunday afternoon. Colin Rugg said, breaking, a new photo taken by Jeffrey Epstein himself has been released of Bill Gates with an alleged victim. Wall Street Journal. The photo was reportedly taken in 2014, years after Epstein was convicted for soliciting and procuring. No, that word does not fit from a minor. I'm sorry. The other word, the R word, does. The woman in the photo is a Polish model in her 20s at the time the photo was taken. The photo is reportedly taken from Gates' Seattle office. The woman who has made promises by Epstein, like many of his other victims, was also seen in photos with Woody Allen and former CBS News journalist Charlie Rose. The unidentified woman didn't accuse Gates of any wrongdoing, however the development raises more questions of why Gates was still hanging out with Epstein despite knowing he was a pedo. Why were any of them hanging out with him when they knew he was a pedo? Okay. Yeah, when he was asked about his relations with Epstein, Bill Gates goes really weird. That's what someone looks like when they aren't telling the full truth. Are you ready to just... We'll watch his body language. I've got a cat knocking at the door, but we'll watch... Oh, dear. You gotta love him. Shuffling in the seats, playing with his fingers. Bill Gates is a wuss, mate. Seriously. Pie in the face. He needs another one around now. If he's not gone already. Oh, yeah. Yeah, and laughing and carrying on. No, mate. No, mate, just no. Okay, Dominic Cray said on November 29, 2013, Dr. Eowan of Fellowship of the Mind was the first to suggest that the Nesbitts were real parents of Sasha and Marley Obama in an article he posted on his website. On June the 14th, 2015, allegations of Michelle Obama not giving birth to Marley and Sasha Obama resurfaced when an ancestry search was conducted and resulted in no match for the Obama daughters. As absurd as these claims are, in Michelle Obama's book Becoming Michelle, right, Becoming Michelle, Leaving Michael Behind, right, she explained that she utilised IVF to conceive both of her daughters. How the hell did she carry them, I'd like to know. Adding to suspicions is the fact that Marley and Sasha were allegedly delivered by the close family friend of the Obamas, Dr. Anita Blanchard, though no public record of those deliveries exist. Okay, search results for Malia Obama. Name, first dog breed energetic, non-shedding. What? Victoria, Malia Obama. Okay. Search for Natasha Obama. Natasha Obama, someone else. Search for... okay, I don't know, but you know. It's Adam and Eve that can have kids, not Adam and Steve, respectfully. Yeah, so I'd like to know how she carried them. In someone else's body, that's what I think. Black Betty said, what did Buzz mean by this? Everyone remember this? Buzz Aldrin said, we are all in danger. It is evil itself, when he came back from Antarctica. What did he see down there? Or was that a psyop? You can let me know what you think about that. That's what he said. Buzz Aldrin said, we are all in danger, it's evil itself. Everyone got screenshots and then it got deleted. Chuck Costello said, breaking report, Apple to be banned from selling smartwatches in the US beginning December 21st. Landmark decision prohibiting Apple from selling smartwatches in the United States beginning this week, amid allegations of medical technology theft. The ruling comes as a legal dispute emerges over the technology Apple's smartwatches uses to run their blood oxygen feature. The only model available in the US will be the company's budget model. Interesting. Brian Cates said, when they say aliens... oh, I've read that one. That was yesterday's one, so we've gone for an hour. So we're going to just go back to a blank screen for a minute. And I'm going to read your comments. Listen to the rain. It's been going hard since last night. Okay, where am I up to? Yep, Alex said I can hear the rain. Wowza. Oh, Carl said it's in Malaysia, Penang. Oh, okay. Oh, geez, that'd be nice. Enjoy yourself while you're there, Carl. Menacing Muskrat, how you going? Kai said, big old fat rain. Alex said, I can't stand clubbing. So glad I got it all out of my system in my teenage, early 20s. Yeah, so did I. And, like, some of the clothes that they're wearing, like, I don't know, we didn't wear things like that when we went out to the clubs. Not that short and not that revealing. I used to wear like an office suit, mate. Going to clubs. Oh my goodness. Full office suit, like the pants, the jacket, the white shirt. Menacing Muskrat said, hello Kai, how you doing? Alex said, awkward, it looks like she's going to cry. She's gone to find a dictionary. Oh, dear. That was that girl who couldn't tell them what misogyny was and started to cry instead. Look, I get it. I was a kid who used to, if anyone said hello to me, I'd cry. I'd hide under my mum's skirt when I was little. Seriously, literally, I would try to get under my mum's skirt to get away from people. So I get that, you know, when someone questions you, you might, like, go to tears, but, I mean, seriously, that was when I was, like, 5, 6, 7. MJ said, uh-oh, I missed the awkward hi, everyone. When everyone's saying hello to each other. Stuart, how you going? Sheffield, Yorkshire in the house. Shannon said she didn't know the meaning of the words. She was just speaking in talking points and catchphrases and got called out. Well, that's the thing with the Whatever podcast. They have a way of calling things out. But I'd like to call something out too, okay, for the Whatever podcast. If all the women did become virgins again, where are they boys going to get their body counts from? Because the guys seem to think that they're all right having a big body count, but the girls are not, right? Double standards much. I think that pair bonding happens with both men and women. And I believe that the more both of them sleep around, the less pair bonding they can have with each other. So, and I know that from going out with a couple of cheaters, mate. Oh, seriously. Yep. They, I don't know. Oh, but I think it works both ways. If both male and female were virgins to start out with, their marriage would last. Because with pair bonding, what happens is, if a woman has too many people go through her, let's put it that way, she has a less chance of pair bonding with the man and less successful marriage. I think it works both ways. But that's just my opinion. And I always wondered, I meant to ask the question in the Whatever podcast's live stream comments, and I'll get hammered for it. But what happens if all the women do turn into virgins? Where are you going to get your body count from, men? Oh dear, oh no. Oh, guys, hang on a sec, I've got to mute myself. Hey guys, I'm just going to end the stream. I'm sorry, I've got my medical appointment. Okay guys, have a good one. I'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye.
I've seen a lot of change, been through a lot of pain. Some things are not the same as they were a year ago, but all will be okay. I move on each and every day. The past is where it stays, way back a year ago. I've changed for the better this time. I thought I would never be fine. I strive just to say I'm alright, and for the first time in a long time I'm alright. I've seen a lot of change, been through a lot of pain. Some things are not the same as they were a year ago, but all will be okay. I move on each and every day. The past is where it stays, way back a year ago. I'm not falling. I'll push all my chips and call all in. I'll bet on myself, you keep stalling. I hear destiny and it's calling. I'll keep my head up high through the downs and lows, and we're all going life. Still nobody knows, but I'ma choose what's right and take what comes and goes. And ain't no one in life holding me back no more. I've seen a lot of change, been through a lot of pain. Some things are not the same as they were a year ago, but all will be okay. I move on each and every day. The past is where it stays, way back a year ago.